everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, it's not going to be a shock to you that I have a nail missing. Okay, well, we're off to a great start! I put new bookish content out every Thursday at 7 p.m, so if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to follow along and press that subscribe button. In this video, we are going to be going over my winter TBR. Compared to other seasonal TBRs I've done, this one has couple less books only because it is the holiday season and I don't know if I'm gonna have an enormous amount of time to read, so I want to be realistic with my TBR. Starting off, I do want to continue on with the Illuminae series really bad because I enjoyed the first book so much, and so the next book in the series is called Gemina. This is such a fun book and it is one of those multimedia books, so it can be a quick read just because it's really interesting to keep turning the pages and seeing how the authors manipulated the story. This is a YA sci-fi novel that has elements of a pandemic and AI trying to take over, and there's just so many moving parts in this, and I've fallen in love with our main characters, so I'm excited to see where their story keeps going and how they're going to overcome the artificial intelligence that has kind of infiltrated their spaceship. Another series I want to continue on with is the Shadow and Bone series. So next in that series is Siege and Storm. I've heard mixed reviews that once you finish Shadow and Bone, it kind of keeps going downhill when it comes to Siege and Storm and then Rune and Rising. So I hope that's not the case. I really did enjoy the characters in Shadow and Bone, and I liked how fast-paced the plot and the writing was. So I'm hoping that I'm still able to get those same elements out of the rest of the story, but we'll see. I just realized that this whole TBR is either a continuation of a series or the start of a new series, and the only standalone I have is this, so this better be good. This is The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. I honestly only picked this because there are snowflakes on the cover. That is the only reason, and you will also see a theme of all these books have like a blue tint to them, and I just thought that looks like winter. That's the only reason I picked it. Smart cookie. In this book, I know we follow our two main characters, Rin and Xander, and Rin is battling with the death of one of her best friends, I believe, and so she is facing a lot of grief and is not sure how to cope with it at this time. While in this airport, due to weather, they are stuck overnight on New Year's Eve, and so they meet each other, and throughout this process of getting to know each other in the airport, we see our main character start to come to terms with her grief and figure out how she is going to move on and continue her life without her best friend. So I am excited to read this. I think this is good timing. I'm worried it's going to be a little sad, but with all the books I'm reading, I think I can slip in one little sappy one. And to continue with that theme of it looks like a winter novel, let's move on to the next book I want to read, which is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. It has the word winter in it, so again, that's all it really took for me to be like, yep, that should go in the TBR. I know I've talked about this one quite a few times in the past. This is all about a Goblin King who steals our main character's sister away from her family. So our main character, her name is Lysol? I don't know. She has to go find her sister, and in the process, while she is part of the Goblin King's world, she starts falling for the Goblin King. So this is an enemies to lovers romance, but it also has a badass female, it looks like, that is trying to save her sister as well. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. There's also a musical element to it, which I normally don't like in books, but I don't know. We'll see how it works. After that is a book that I do not have physically with me because I want to listen to it via audiobook. Is the sequel to A Remarkable Beautiful Thing, or A Beautiful Strange, A Remarkable, I don't know. It's a long title. It's the Carl series by Hank Green. I will put the picture here. I've already listened to the first one in the series, and I thought it was a really interesting book and one that is different to anything else I've read recently. So I definitely want to continue on with that series. I'm not sure how many more Hank is coming out with, but I liked the first one enough to give the second one a shot. So that is definitely on my TBR list for the audiobooks. And bear with me because these next 30 books are all oldies. Like, you have seen these books probably everywhere, but your girl is new to the community and they're new to me, so just give me my moment, okay? The first one of which is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I feel like this was the first book I really saw a lot of when I first started BookTube, and so I knew I wanted to pick it up. I think the series has a very interesting concept. It is about a world that's divided by blood type, so you're either a red, which is more of like the peasant, lowly type population, or you're a silver, and that's more of the elitist community. In this world, the silver-blooded people have supernatural abilities, so they're almost viewed as like gods. And we follow our main character, Mare, who by some random chance ends up in the royal palace and finds out she has a supernatural power and ability, but it's kind of taboo because it's the first time a red-blooded individual has a supernatural power. So she's kind of coming to terms with that and what that means, and is kind of having to hide her identity from the king because it's kind of a threat to the society that they've grown in, and it could really almost dismantle everything. So I'm really interested in this book and the concept and how the world is built, so very excited to get into this one soon. Next is a oldie but a goodie and has a cult following here on YouTube. Throne of Glass. Yes, I am finally starting to pick this book up. This is a 8-book series and one that I'm really excited to get into. I love Sarah J. Maas as a writer, and I knew before I got into her more recent works like the Crescent City book, I wanted to at least finish this series. So I'm hoping at least by June I will finish this series, but we'll see. And last but not least is another cult favorite, I would say, in the adult romance community, but that is After by Anna Todd. I don't really know much about this series. I just know that a lot of people hype up the romance in it, and there are movies based off of it, so I'm hoping to read the series through and then watch the movies. All in all, it is not a massive TBR, but it's still one that I'm very interested to get into. Out of all these books, are any of these your favorites? Sound off down in the comments below. And what are you looking to read this winter time? I want to know what you're snuggling up with, because Lord knows I'm going to read more than these and buy more than these in these next couple of months. So give me some suggestions. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying warm out there and having a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.